There are a lot of differences in masculine and feminine styles of communication in romantic conflict situations. There are many different studies and research regarding why this is. If we recall from Chapter 3 in the TRIP goals, we know that there is a masculine and feminine style of communication, and that each style of communication has different goals that it's looking to achieve. The masculine style of communication wants to achieve goals related to topic and identity of the situation at hand, while the feminine style of communication wants to resolve conflict related to relationship and process goals. It seems that while the masculine style of communication has a lot to do with specifically what is being talked about and the face work and self-esteem of each individual is at play, the feminine style has a lot to do with the relational aspect and how the conflict is resolved in the process goals. One of the major areas of research and study that has to do with the differences in gender and conflict has a lot to do with the evolutionary history of males and females. In an article named Aligning Mars and Venus, the social construct and instability of gender differences in romantic relationships by Paul B. Perrin and Associates, claims that an evolutionary approach to gender differences in romantic relationships has pervaded the scientific literature, a trend mirrored in popular culture today. If you think about the way in modern day life that males and females are both raised, it has a lot to do with the masculine and feminine styles that each of them have. Another approach to understanding gender differences has to do a little bit with attachment styles, which is also related to evolutionary history. According to an article titled The Association Between Adult Attachment Styles and Conflict Resolution in Romantic Relationships by Lynn Shee, she says that with roots deep in romantic relationship dynamics, attachment theory provides a promising explanation for the use of different styles of conflict resolution. This is because research in the past decade confirmed that attachment style is associated to relationship satisfaction and conflict resolution behaviors. So if you think about the way that males and females are both raised, given that males have a masculine style of communication and females have a feminine style of communication, it would make sense to think that while females and males can share different styles of communication, that while males are raised to be independent and strong and straightforward, that they would have a lot to do with the topic and identity goals of conflict situations, and that females want to resolve the goals that have to do with the relationship and the process. This relates back to the evolutionary research that scientists have studied in the differences in romantic conflict styles, because in the past, females have needed to know that they have somebody that will stay with them, and they want to know that the process of solving a conflict will be very rewarding for them, so that they have somebody that can be there to take care of the family and the kids. And then if we look at the masculine style of communication and evolution and how those relate, it would make sense to think that they are very specific about the topic that they are trying to solve in communication and conflict, and the identity of themselves, their face work, and their self-esteem. And then you see this in modern day societies because this is the stereotype of masculine and feminine styles related to males and females. So if this is the stereotype, it kind of ends up being a self-fulfilling prophecy where the males really are taught to care about the topics at hand, get it done and get it over with, while also saving their own face work, which is another way of saying keeping their reputation in check and their identity. And then it would make sense today that because females are stereotyped to really be caring about the relationship and the process of how a conflict is resolved, it would make sense that that is also a self-fulfilling prophecy where they want to make sure that they are satisfied with the way the conflict is resolved and the way that the relationship stays intact.